Did you know the US is on track to lose over $100 billion in tourism revenue? And it's the only major economy where tourism is still declining? While countries around the world are seeing travel recover, America is quietly slipping backwards. This isn't just about airfare or delays. For many, it's political. For others, it's personal. But the result is the same. For millions of travelers, the US no longer feels worth it. From Europe to Oceania, people who once dreamed of visiting are walking away. No protests, no headlines, just a global silence. In this video, we uncover the 7 countries where the pullback is most extreme, and why it signals something deeper than a travel slowdown. A collapse in trust that could reshape global tourism for years to come. Number 7. The Netherlands. The Netherlands has long shared a sense of admiration for the US, from culture and innovation to cross-Atlantic travel. But in 2025, that connection is fading fast. In March, Dutch vacation bookings to the US dropped by 30%, one of the steepest declines in Europe. By May, that drop showed up in actual arrivals, falling another 11.6%. This isn't just a temporary dip, it's a trend, and for the Netherlands, it's deeply personal. Since Donald Trump's return to the White House, Dutch sentiment toward America has shifted. Travel agents say many simply aren't interested anymore. Others quietly point to anxiety. Stories of travelers being detained at US borders, even with the right paperwork. According to a recent global survey, only 20% of Dutch citizens now believe the US will have a positive influence on the world, the lowest rating in Europe. Meanwhile, 85% of Dutch travelers are now booking trips within Europe. Spain and Sweden are booming. The US, not even on the list. There are no protests, no boycotts, just a silent decision, repeated thousands of times. We'll go somewhere else instead. While for the Dutch it's quiet frustration, further north the same retreat is unfolding, but with deeper conviction. Number 6. Norway. Norwegians once admired the United States, its landscapes, its culture, its promise of freedom. But in 2025, that admiration is fading. Since the start of the year, US-bound travel from Norway has declined month after month. In May, the drop reached 8.8%, continuing a clear trend away from America. It's not a dramatic protest. Norwegians aren't marching in the streets or calling for bans. They're simply stepping back. What changed? Many point to the growing discomfort with America's political climate. The detention of European travelers at US borders, aggressive foreign policy rhetoric, and the treatment of allies under the Trump administration have left a sour taste. Torald Moland, a well-known travel editor, canceled her own 3-week US road trip, calling it unacceptable to promote the country right now. Norwegians, known for their conscience-driven consumer choices, are quietly opting out. One consultant explained it simply: "We follow our conscience." Many feel that travel is a form of endorsement, and they no longer feel good about endorsing the US. And they're not alone. Just next door, another country is seeing an even steeper drop, driven by something far more personal. Number 5. Denmark. Among America's European allies, few countries have turned away as sharply as Denmark. The drift didn't begin in May. For years, Danes have watched US politics with rising discomfort. From military overreach to diplomatic disrespect, including renewed talk of acquiring Greenland, the message has felt increasingly one-sided. Not hostile, but dismissive. And now, it's showing up in public behavior. Travel agencies in Denmark say clients are quietly dropping US trips and choosing destinations that feel more culturally aligned. One consultant told local media, "It's not about fear, it's about values. People want to travel where they feel respected." In May 2025, travel from Denmark to the United States dropped by 20.5%, one of the steepest declines in all of Europe. And public sentiment backs it up. A recent YouGov poll found that 74% of Danes now hold an unfavorable view of the US, the highest negative perception in Western Europe. This isn't a protest, it's a quiet correction. When even Denmark, peaceful, consistent, and closely aligned, starts pulling away, the message isn't loud. It's clear. Before we dive into our next country, if you're finding this eye-opening, give the video a like. It helps more people discover what's really happening in global travel right now. Number 4, Australia. Australians have always had a love affair with American road trips, national parks, and big cities. But in 2025, that enthusiasm is cooling off. According to the Australian Travel Industry Association, there's been a noticeable decline in travel to the United States, even as overall international travel from Australia is surging. Destinations like Japan, China, and Vietnam are seeing double-digit growth. But the US? It's quietly slipping down the list. And in May, the downward trend continued. One surprising detail? Land mode travel to the US by Australians dropped over 23%. That may sound odd, but it reflects a clear behavior shift. Many Australians who once combined US visits with nearby trips to Canada or Mexico are now skipping US entirely. Instead, they're spending more time and money in those neighboring countries. Travel agents cite growing concerns over border stress, rising hostility, and a vibe that just feels off. As one consultant put it, the US used to be the dream. Now it's the backup plan. For a country that once romanticized Route 66 and the American West, that's no small change. And while Australians are quietly stepping back, a louder withdrawal is coming next, from a country with even deeper historical ties. Number 3, France. May 2025 marked the 5th consecutive month of declining US travel from France, part of a quiet but growing retreat. And in May alone, arrivals dropped by 8.8%, with land mode entries down a striking 34%. These aren't just numbers, they're signals. French agencies have reported a slowdown in US bookings since early 2025, and by spring, the warnings became reality. According to some operators, summer reservations for the US have dropped by as much as 20%, while others note an increase in last-minute changes to European alternatives. The hesitation isn't just logistical, it's emotional. Earlier this year, a French academic was detained at a US airport despite valid documentation. French media portrayed it as politically motivated, citing messages critical of American leadership. That single event shook public confidence, and it's still reverberating. As one travel consultant told Le Monde, clients are nervous, they ask more questions, many just stop planning altogether. For French tourists, America once symbolized excitement and freedom. Now it feels unpredictable and increasingly avoidable, and while the decline may be quiet, it's persistent. Next, we head to a longtime ally, where airline cuts and growing unease are turning caution into distance. Number 2, Germany. Germany has long been one of America's most dependable tourism sources. But in May 2025, German arrivals dropped by 18.7%, one of the sharpest declines among any major European country. And the reason goes far beyond airfare or travel fatigue. It's fear. Over the past few months, a series of detentions involving German travelers have made headlines. Young tourists held for hours. Professionals with valid documents turned away at the border. Some were detained for days, others deported with no clear explanation. These weren't criminals. They were ordinary travelers, and their stories spread fast. In response, Germany updated its official travel advisory, warning citizens that even with proper paperwork, entry into the US is not guaranteed. The result? A surge in cancellations and growing reluctance among German tourists to even consider the US for their next trip. As one travel consultant put it, people aren't angry, they're unsettled, and that's worse. America used to represent freedom and opportunity, but for more and more Germans, it now feels like a risk. And if fear is reshaping decisions in Berlin, the silence coming from Canada may be even louder. Number 1, Canada. With Canada, the US isn't just losing tourists from overseas, it's losing its closest neighbor. In May 2025, Canadian travel to the US saw one of the sharpest drops of any country. return car trips fell 38.1%, and return flights dropped 24.2% year over year. That's not a blip. It's part of a 5-month slide that's growing harder to ignore. This should raise alarm bells. Canadians are historically the largest group of foreign visitors to the United States. But not anymore. Ask Canadians why. And politics is front and center. From unfair U.S. tariffs to threats against Canada's sovereignty, frustration is boiling over. And layered on top of that is a rising sense of unease. A growing number of Canadians say they simply don't feel safe or welcome in the U.S. anymore. More Canadians are quietly rethinking the trip altogether. At the start of 2024, nearly 1 in 4 Canadians said they planned a U.S. visit. Now, just 10%. Instead, they're choosing Europe, Mexico, or staying home. This isn't just a protest. It's a quiet retreat rooted in principle, self-respect, and a fading sense of neighborly trust. And with that, Canada leads the growing list of countries turning away, not in anger, but with resolve. The U.S. isn't just losing tourists, it's losing trust. From close allies to quiet neighbors, the message is clear. People are stepping back. If this video gave you something to think about, like and subscribe. And if you're wondering where travelers are going instead, we just released a cinematic guide to Italy on the global stroll. It's stunning, heartfelt, and everything travel should feel like. Watch it next. Links on screen now.